Yo, welcome to the show where the energy's flown. It's your boy dropping heat. This is the Ozone. Step into the arena where legends are made. From the courts to the fields, watch the highlights played. Football, hoops, baseball, it's all fair game. If it's sports, we bring the fire, put respect on the name. Stats and debates, we break it all down. From the rookies to the GOATs who wear the crown. No halftime, all grind, we're setting the tone. It's prime time, baby, you're in the Ozone. Yo, it's passion, precision, the plays we dissect. From the underdogs, grinding to the Hall of Fame vets. This is more than a podcast, it's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right, welcome to the Ozone.
You have entered the Ozone with Omar and Dave.
Let's go, baby. We are here, and you guys have officially entered the Ozone. It's your boy Omar here, feeling great as always. I'm feeling great. Baseball's upon us. There's lots to talk about, but I can't do it without my co-host, super producer Dave himself. Brother, it's a new week. How we feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm ready to talk baseball. We're about to start the season this Thursday. Let's get into it. As a matter of fact, I don't want to give too much right now. Let's
get into it. We're previewing.
It's 420 feet. I see it.
Batista bat flip. Guys, let's get it started. Pinstripe report. Hit the graphic, Dave.
The Pinstripe Report.
All right, it's the Pinstripes Report, guys. We're previewing our New York Yankees. And, brother, this is going to be, to say the least, this is going to be a cardiac affair, as you said before we got the show rolling. Let's just put it. Pop the graphic. We're going to discuss the five major storylines heading into the Yankee season right now. And, let's just put it like here. All right. So let's just start off at number one. Injuries. Injuries to the rotation, brother, is we already took a big hit. Garrett Cole out for the season. Now we've got the news that Clark Schmidt on the IL. This is not starting off on a good foot for the Yankees here.
No, it's not, brother. We got, we're starting off the first game with Rodon, and then we got Max Fried. We know Max Fried is going to be the ace, or we potentially hope he will be the ace by the end of the season. But we know how the lineup's going to shake up, at least at the first part of the season. We touched on it last week, but we also have Stroman, who we thought he was on the way out, and now it's like we kind of have to keep him. And I'm hearing chatter of from other pages and other networks, and they're just like, don't be surprised if Stroman is gleeful in this this thing. But we are going to be dealing with a lot of challenges. Luis Gil got for a few months as well. That injuries is going to be something that we have to manage, especially also over there in Queens. They're dealing with injuries as well. But this is something, as far as the Yankees go, this is not a good look as far as our pitching rotation. Luckily the rest of the lineup kind of looks, as far as the batting lineup, we look okay. But I don't know, brother. This is going to be a tough season.
The problem is that the Yankees are relying on a lot of ifs. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ifs in the rotation, man. It's just that simple. Carlos Carrasco is going to be added to the 40-man roster. He had a good spring. 1.69 ERA in 16 innings. But this is the problem that I have with the Yankees. And it's bro, we're the damn Yankees. We're the Yankees. All right, Garrett, I feel like it's beating a dead horse. But it's George Steinbrenner. And I get it. We gotta, I get it. And we gotta move on that George is not running the show. Obviously, he's not here. It's Hal. And you have all this luxury tax crap. But, bro, the Yankees, you lose your ace, and you want Yankee fans to feel confident. Okay, yeah, Carlos Carrasco had a good spring. Yeah, Marcus Stroman may be well. Bro, we're the Yankees. Go get somebody. Go, you know what I mean? Go get Sandy Alcantara from Miami. Do something right now. Because right now, I don't have faith in this rotation. I really don't. I think Max Fried will be fine. Carlos Rodon's a question mark. Carlos Rodon is a question mark. You know, you look at we're not getting Luis Hill back into like another 2 months. We don't know now. I know Clark Schmidt's on the IL, and I mentioned that. And Meredith Morakovic said that he's actually not hurt. Um, it's just the way when the season starts, they got a lot of off days in between and that sort of thing. So he's gonna pitch. I don't know, but it's just I'm not crazy about it. The rotation is just I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't know. I wish I can give you an answer, but I'm not confident on the rotation, brother. I'm not.
No, and this is something that we're gonna have to deal with, especially like my hope. This is my absolute hope going into the season. I hope that we can hold off till we get Gil
Yeah.
back. That's like I hope we're in contention. I hope we're not eliminated by April. And this is very pessimistic of me. And if those of you who know me, I'm very optimistic. This is very pessimistic of me. But I just want to be in contention.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see that this team can compete. We are down Garrett
That's
Cole, and
big.
that is
That's
huge. Let's
big.
not just let's not downplay that. But this is still a team that went to the World Series last year.
Yeah.
And yes, we did lose Juan Soto, but that's not the only reason we got there. So there are, we're gonna have to play a different style of ball. As far as the batting goes, and we'll get into that in just a sec. But as far as our pitching goes, I want to be able to be in contention. I want us to be able to be
Yeah.
afloat. I don't want to be at the
Yeah,
bottom of the
as they
East.
say, you
So
can't
we'll
you
see, bro.
can't win a division in April, but you can lose it. So and teams in the division got better. The second point, you
Yeah,
referenced the rotation and battling. It's the third base battle. DJ LeMahieu, pack your bags, my man. I don't want you in the lineup. I'm sorry. DJ LeMahieu is probably good at baseball. I don't know, as good as me. Put it like that. Like I'm gonna be honest, like DJ LeMahieu, I don't need to see him in the field. I don't need to see him in the lineup. We don't have much options. You got Peraza. You have Oswaldo Cabrera. I think Oswaldo Cabrera is going to get the nod at third base. Um, that's another thing. The production at third base is going to be trash. Let's just put it at that. We didn't go and do the trade for Nolan Arenado. We didn't maybe try to court Alex Bregman and maybe try to get Bregman to play third or whatever. But the Yankees are another big if at third base, and you know what I mean. And I'm gonna always reference to this point, brother, while we're talking about the Yankees. How do you want me to be confident in that? How do you want Yankee fans to stand confident and go, yeah, like we got a chance in making the World Series and performing better than we did last year when you got question marks in multiple positions, third base being one of them, where it's what are we doing here?
yeah. And I like the adjustment of moving Jazz to second base. Him not playing third. He did well when he was there. I mean, for what you asked of him. But there's no confidence spoken at third base, and we'll have to see. Maybe guys have a chance. Like this is the one thing that we are at least fortunate when it comes to baseball. There are 162 games. We have a chance to see what these guys can produce. If you're asking for confidence as we start the season, then I will tell you I'm not confident in Peraza or Cabrera. Let's see what the Oz's end up doing. But at the end of the day, we don't know. Like we just have to give it a chance, and we'll see. If you end up going to get that guy who does improve the lineup, we'll
Yeah.
see.
And speaking
I don't
of
know, bro.
getting guys a third pointers production from the new acquisitions, and you touched on it, losing Juan Soto was big, as you said. Juan Soto wasn't the sole reason we was in the World Series, but man, you'd be an idiot to not think that Juan Soto didn't help propel us to the World Series, and that's big. And you're not going to match that production. You're not going to match Juan Soto's production at all. Like so, yeah, I think it's pivotal, it's paramount for Goldschmidt, Bellinger, those guys, we're going to need them. We're going to need them to play well, and then we're going to need guys to elevate their game. Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe. Volpe, right now, I love Anthony Volpe. But, bro, you have been a top prospect for a lot of years. The Yankees have always, like, had him on low. We're not trading Volpe. We're not trading Volpe in any, like, big potential deal that they could have made. Bro, I need to see it now. I need to see this Volpe that all Yankee fans have been hyped about. He had a decent rookie year. He had power, but the average was low. So then I don't know if the Yankees maybe try to tweak him last season, where it's like, okay, let's ease on the power. Let's get you more on base. Let's get that batting average. But he didn't have such a great year. He's a great defender, but he didn't have such a great offensive year. I'm gonna need him to elevate his game, bro. I'm gonna really need him to elevate his game. Austin Wells, I like.
Yeah.
Austin Wells is balling right now, man. And right now there's talks of him being the leadoff guy, which I kind of like because it's very Philadelphia Phillies how they got Kyle Schwarber. He's not gonna be your traditional leadoff guy where he's taking pitches, 8 or 9 pitches. No, he's gonna be an ambush kind of first pitch fastball. I'm sending it to the right field seats.
But here's another point to that. How many leadoff guys are there really in the league? Like that, the typical one. There are not many. So why not try something different? If you and the thing is with the cross sports,
Yes, it
it's a
is.
copycat leagues. So if we see something works with another team, why not try that?
No,
So I'm gonna
yeah,
let you continue,
yeah.
brother. But I'm
No,
just
no, I
saying,
keep it.
there's not that many leadoff hitters that you can be like, you know what, he's the spark plug that
That's a
we need to
great
have
point.
at the the
Well,
beginning.
you see it now. Like not to get off the rails but you see it like Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, those guys are batting second because analytics say you bat them second, they get more at bats than traditional what we were like your best hitter bats fourth. It's the cleanup hitter. You know what I mean? You set the table so when he's on, but now it's different. So you're right, there aren't any traditional leadoff guys. Um but speaking of elevating, gets on my fourth point, to the fourth storyline, brother, which is Jason Dominguez, the Martian. We need the Martian. Yankee fans, chill the f out with, oh, he can't play left field, brother. Like, bro, this kid, he's a center fielder. It's gonna take him time to adjust, but bro, that he's a switch hitter with power. He's young, he can run, brother. This guy is a 5 tool player. He's going. I'm not worried about his. I'm not worried about how he's playing left field. He's finally gonna get a first real shot. He's gonna get. I don't want to see Grissom. I get Grissom's having a good spring. I don't care because Grissom's not a long term plan. Like Jason Dominguez is the guy that we want to be like the next Aaron Judge. So we need give him a shot. I don't care if he's struggling in April. We need to see him there every day playing left field in the lineup.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's looked really good this spring. Compared, Yankee Twitter, Yankee fans, they just if it's not, oh my God,
Oh
this guy's Juan
my
Soto.
God.
Let's just put it like this. So this guy's not Aaron Judge. If it's not that guy, sometimes Yankee fans you
Yeah.
annoy me because it's like give this guy a shot. This is his first time, right? This is the first time that we're actually going to see what is Jason Dominguez made of. Let's give it a shot. And it's not like we're going to move him to center. We have somebody who's established as a center fielder now. He's
Yep.
going to play that. So why would we take him away
57
from
at
that?
bats, brother. My
So,
bad, bro.
and I'm happy
57
with
at
moving
bats,
Judge.
281, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 796 OPS, his spring numbers. Bro, come on. Come on.
You
Come
take that in
on.
the spring. In the spring, I take that. So this is the things that just like, and we have Judge back at where he's supposed to be. So I think having Dominguez where at left field, let him do that, and let's see what he brings to the table. I don't get
Let
it,
him cook. Yeah.
fans. You
Yeah,
upset me
and that's the
sometimes.
thing,
Let
man.
him
Like
cook.
yeah, like you know what? I'm like a year in on Twitter. Yeah, I would like to say like I'm like a year in. Bro, like Twitter is like, yo, fans between. I think sometimes I get why like people outside of New York hate New York fans, bro. We are so like, bro, doom and gloom when stuff are going bad. One bad game, the world's ending. One good like, yeah, I'm sick of it, and especially with like the Yankee fans are just like, bro, like I don't know. But all right, last point. Before we talk about them boys from Queens. The bullpen reinforcement. Now it sucks. Ian Hamilton is gonna start the season on the IL. But if it's one thing that I don't worry about when it comes to the Yankees, brother, is the bullpen. The bullpen. One we got why am I drawing a freaking blank now? Luke Weaver, and then you got
Yep.
the Airbender, right? That's what they call him, the Airbender, Devin Williams.
Yep.
So the back end of the rotation,
Yep.
the back end of the bullpen is lights out. Like the Yankees are gonna, Yankees got to lead by the seventh inning, game's over. And one thing the Yankees have always been able to do, is take a reliever who may not have pitched well in other spots. A la Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes was trash in Pittsburgh. Came to the Yankees, became a two-time All-Star. Yeah, did he give us some cardiac affairs closing games? 100%. But they rejuvenated his career. So the bullpen, I have no worries when it comes to the Yankees, when it comes to the bullpen. Now the question, like as we touched on, are the starters going to be able to give them the ball with a lead? That may be that remains to be seen. But I like the Yankee bullpen is not a worry for me.
And just to piggyback off that last thing that you were just saying, it's just this Yankee team. All right, the Yankees are known as the Bronx Bombers. That is what we're known for. This lineup doesn't speak Bronx Bombers.
No.
This lineup speaks to me. We're playing a
Yeah.
different type of ball. And one of the critiques going into this offseason, right after the World Series, is the Dodgers and notoriously went every other podcast and talked about how the Yankees, they just have one style and we knew how to beat them. And they followed the game plan that the teams in our division that we play against do. So at the end of the day, the Yankees have to play a different style of ball this year because they were forced to. Juan Soto's not there no more. So you're not the Bronx Bombers.
Yeah.
You're not, this
Yeah.
lineup doesn't speak outside of Judge and
Yeah.
maybe Bellinger,
It
doesn't speak
doesn't.
home runs.
It doesn't.
So
I got
we
it on.
have to see
I
a
got it
different
on Quick
Yankees.
Hits. I got it on Quick Hits. I just received MLB The Show, and you nailed it, bro. Like I was playing the game yesterday, and yo, I was literally thinking, I'm like, bro, this lineup is like, I'm gonna have to play like station to station baseball. Like, all right, get a single, try to do some hit and runs, cause like, bro, this lineup got no pop. Like outside Judge and Belly, you would hope maybe Jazz Chisholm, a full year Yankee Stadium, maybe, his home runs. But then I also hope he doesn't try to get too short porch happy, because that can happen sometimes. And then you lose like what Jazz is really good at, getting on base, running and stuff like that. I hope he doesn't get too home run happy. But yeah, you said it, like the bullpen's gonna be big because, like you said, I don't know if this lineup's gonna be able to produce as many runs as we would like. Um, we got Jake Cousins. We brought Tim Hill back. Tim Hill should have been pitching to Freddie Freeman in game one of the World Series, but we got to let go of that. We pick up De Los Santos. I think he had pitched for the Phillies. It sucks that we lost Scott Efros, but I like the bullpen. Like I said, the bullpen is not a worry for me. So, brother, before we move on to the Mets, I don't want to say record, because honestly, it's too much math. It's 162 games, but realistically, what is your
Please don't ask me to do
what
math.
is basically, hold on, my bad, y'all, my bad. All right, no, we'll do this. Yeah, what's your projection for the Yankees? Where do you think we end? How do you think how's this Yankee season ending?
I'd like us going into the season. I'd like us to end up with the number 2 spot.
Number two
As
spot in
far as
what? Like the
the
second
standings
best
go,
AL team,
in
second best.
in the
You
East,
want to finish second in the
in the
AL
East.
East?
As far as the expectations, I
Man,
mean,
yo, he
I
got no.
see it right
Dave
now.
got no.
I see the.
All right, so
I get it, bro. But at the end of the day, like I don't see this team
yes,
this is not the same team
yeah.
that went to the World Series last year. And I have to manage. I have to temper my expectations. If we had Garrett Cole, different story. Right now, I'd like us to end at least second in the East. Go for that wild card spot and just show me something different.
Um,
That's my prediction. I see us in the
all right,
playoffs at
playoffs,
least, wild card.
not World Series though. Not World Series. Okay,
Not World Series as
that's
of now.
fair.
I that can change. This is preseason
I'm in
predictions.
agreement. I'm in
That
agreement
can
with.
change.
I don't want to like. I was gonna say I don't. I want to hold off on World Series. But I'm in agreement with you on there. I think. I think the World Series is a bit of a stretch for this Yankee team. Now everything can change. Obviously, trade deadlines and things that happen within the season. Maybe you might have surprise performances from certain players you wasn't expecting it from. Injuries to certain teams might happen. I do got us winning the
Acquisitions.
division though. I do got us winning the division. I
Okay.
not by a lot. I think we'll be but I got us winning the division and I got us losing in probably like the American League, the ALCS. But I don't think this Yankee
Okay.
team doesn't have World Series on it. Brother, before we move on to the Mets, pop the graphic of the Yankees schedule, guys, because it's baseball season, so it's just like what we do with the Knicks. We gotta have the graphics for the upcoming Yankees games, and the Yankees, guys, it's opening day. As we know, the schedule's a little weird. So if you look at it, opening day, March 27th, 3:05 start. And then there's an off day in between. So you don't normally see that in series, but there's an off day in between. So the second game is March 29th at 1, followed by March 30th at 1:35. Now, Dave doesn't know this. Um, but as guys, as you know, we have tender subs bet. We predict Knicks wins or losses. We're going to be doing that with baseball, but we're going to wait till the Knicks season is over. So once the Knicks season is over, like obviously David and I will always have the schedule up. We'll remind you guys of when the Yankees and Mets are going to be playing. But once the Knicks season's over, we fulfill the bet. Whoever wins, hopefully I can come back and win. But then from there, Dave and I will be predicting series wins. We're not going to do every game. As we know, baseball just got way too many games. We ain't got time for that. It's a two-man team, guys. We don't have a social media team. We don't have none of this. This is Dave and I doing this all the time. So we'll probably do another bet. Not probably. Well, once the Knicks season's over, so then we can focus on our records for the Yankees. But what we need to focus now on is them boys from Queens. So let's get into it on the Amazing Rundown.
The Amazing Rundown. It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby. Let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
All right, y'all. The Amazing Rundown. Big expectations and excitements for the Mets. Before we get into it, I want to shout out those Met fans that I were able to speak with last week in Clover Park. They were big, man. They were really supportive, bro. The Met fans were really supportive. I don't know if they're gonna be after this, but they were really supportive. They were really supportive of the channel, and we got some subscribers and a lot of traffic on TikTok from the video that you produced, my man. But yeah, shout out to those Met fans, man. They were really cool, man. They had a lot to say about the Yankees, as Met fans always do. But there's a lot of excitement. There's and there's expectations, and that's why the number one storyline heading into the 2025 season for the Mets is Juan Soto's landmark signing. Brother, they got the big fish. We discussed it on a few episodes already here. They got the big fish, man. They got the big dog. They got Juan Soto.
Not only did they get Juan Soto, they record broke getting Juan Soto. Like, this man has the potential to make $800 million. You are literally paying this man three-fourths
Yeah,
of a billy.
yeah,
This man needs, like, and here's the thing. This is like, it doesn't knock where he ended up going. This is not me as a Yankee fan. This is just me speaking as a sports fan and just anybody who listens and sees that number. When you pay someone that money, you need to like
yeah.
produce. You just need to. And Juan Soto has something to prove now. Before this contract was signed, I could have said that, you know what? Juan Soto has nothing to prove. He already has a championship. He's already gotten to the World Series with another team, the Yankees. He shows that he's one of the most valuable players in baseball. But now you sign a deal like that, you have to produce. And you're on a team that hasn't won a championship since
That's a long
1986. Let's just
time.
remember that. There may be some people here
Oh,
who
there's
weren't even born
110.
that have. There may be some people here that weren't even born, myself included, and you. So there needs to be performance that has to show that that money is validated. And it's not just, I need to see 50 home runs from like Soto every year. I need to see this team get far every. I need to know that the Mets are in it because that validates that money, and it's not me pocket watching because it's
Right.
not my money. But at the end of the day, that just justifies where the numbers are going. The Mets are in the right trajectory, but we need to see Juan Soto do what he got
Yeah,
paid
hundred
for.
percent. You know, he's got pressure. I'm sorry, he's pressure, and then you know what I mean. The thing I got with Juan Soto, and like I said, I'm not hating it, but Met fans, you know, like this whole debate and argument that he signed with the Mets because they have such bright future, and then he goes on Sports Illustrated and goes and says that the Yankees were number one from day one. I know the Yankees are going to be good for the next 5-6 years. We don't know after that, and you go. Same could be said about the Mets. That's just so dumb. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's such a dumb statement,
Any
brother.
team,
You went for the
any team.
bread. That's okay. That is your right as a free agent to go for the bread. Anything like any other reason than that is like, yo, miss me with that. Miss me with that. Like, bro, like, let like it seems like wait, like like, and then you have Met fans that go to Yankee fans like, oh, get over it. Well, your man's not over it because your man's trying to change the narrative that he just thinks that like the Mets are this franchise that their future's so much brighter than the Yankees. And then I can see if he said, okay, I can see the Yankees being good maybe a year from now, but after that, then I could be like, okay, that's a maybe that might be a valid point. But you said the Yankees are going to be good 5 to 6 years. You don't know after that. So basically, you may not be good in them 5 6 years. After you know what I mean? Because when it's normal, like in baseball, those big contracts, you see it. You've seen it with Albert Pujols. You've seen it with Mike Trout. You've seen it with many players. You know, our very own CC Sabathia when those guys sign them lucrative long-term deals, we're gonna see it with Aaron Judge eventually. You're gonna get the first 5 6 years are gonna be great, and then you know the back end is gonna be trash. You know that already. You know what I'm saying? So, but you sign up for that. You're willing to do that. So for him to go and say that about the Yankees made absolutely no sense, bro. You went for the bread. That's all right. It is what it is.
Here's the thing that I take with this statement, right? If you were to say that, you know what, because of the way that leadership and ownership has gone with the Mets as of late, I can see that in the next 5 to 6 years, there's optimism there compared to how us Yankee fans may feel because at the end of the day, we are upset with Cashman every offseason. We are upset with like the moves that are being done. And we understand Steinbrenner and his pocket, saving, whatever.
Right.
I understand that statement when you say that in the next 5 to 6 years, there's a more optimistic look for the Mets, and I completely validated in that point. But if you're talking about like specifically about the team, what team can you say 5 to 6 years from now that they're gonna
Right.
be good?
Right.
As
Yeah.
of this moment, any team,
Right.
any sports, what team can you tell me that's gonna be good
Right.
in 5 to 6 years?
Yeah.
None. So that is such a
That's dumb. Like
stupid
that's dumb.
comment. And like you
That was
said,
dumb.
had it it's a stupid comment. And this is not a Yankee fan who's scorned. This is literally a sports fan who just doesn't believe that anybody can predict that 5 to 6 years from now. 5 to 6 years from now, I know something's for certain. You're still gonna be getting paid. That's what I
Yeah.
know for sure.
I,
Whether you
I
perform
I
or
didn't
not.
get the comment. Um, Now just like the Yankees, the Mets they have some injuries. They got a big hit with Francisco Alvarez being out. He's gonna miss some time. Um, and Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil starting the season on the IL. So those are big
Manaya.
big hits for the Mets. But you know what I mean. And the third storyline is the rotation. We've seen now injuries. The injuries are impacting the rotation where Frankie Montas is out, Sean Manaea out. So you look at their bullpen. I mean, you look at their the position battles in the rotation. You know you're gonna have Kodai Senga, you're gonna have Clay Holmes, David Peterson. But now, like the battling is between Tyler Miguel, Griffin Canning, and to be honest, I saw Tyler Miguel when I went last week. He pitched pretty well. It is what it is. He played Houston. He did lose. You look at his spring numbers. He was 0-2, 4.24 ERA, 4 games started, 17 innings, 18 strikeouts. That's fair, but then you look at who's he going against, Griffin Canning, and Griffin Canning's numbers were good, man. He started 2 games, 10 innings total, 16 strikeouts, a 0.90 ERA. I know when I spoke to some Met fans last week, they like Griffin Canning. They want Griffin Canning in the rotation. So I do see Kodai Senga, Clay Holmes, uh, David Peterson, Griffin Canning, and maybe Tyler McGill. I don't see Paul Blackburn getting the nod. So that's going to probably be their rotation until Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea and them boys get back. You look at the position battles as far as second base goes. I think Brett Beatty's running with that one. I think Brett Beatty's going to get second base. Um, he's having a phenomenal spring. I didn't realize it. It's funny when I was at the game. And Met fans, let us know in the comments below, because we had an interesting conversation about. I had an interesting conversation with a Met fan about this, bro. I didn't realize. Obviously, Brett Beatty gave his number to Juan Soto. Juan Soto got him a pickup truck and that sort of thing. But Brett Beatty's number is number 7. You know who wore number 7 for the Mets? Let's see if you know your Mets trivia. There's Mets trivia for you. No? Jose Reyes wore number 7. And that took me by surprise. I'm like, wow. Like, they just gave Reyes number like that? And I'm like, and I told this Met fan, and he was in agreement with me. He's like, he actually said that I made a valid point. I know, like, we always make valid points here at the Ozone. I was like, they're retiring David Wright. Well deserved. They're retiring David Wright to the Mets Hall of Fame. You can't retire David Wright and not retire Jose Reyes. Jose Reyes was just as important in that era of Mets than David Wright was. Jose Reyes won batting titles. Jose Reyes, like, he stolen a lot of bases. So it was like, damn, you didn't pimp out David Wright's number. Why the hell would you give Brett Beatty Jose Reyes' number? And I'm not a big Jose Reyes fan. I'm not. But damn, put a little respect on the guy's name. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Brett Beatty got, hey, he hitting like Jose Reyes this spring. 48 at bats, 17 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, batting 354. OPS 1.123. Bro, he's playing like Reyes, and I tell you this, the Met fans will sign up for that.
If you're a Mets fan, why shouldn't you be excited? This lineup it's funny, right? Also, we started talking in the offseason, and we mentioned that this lineup at first did not seem anything to scream about, right? You had Lindor, you had Juan Soto, because that's when Soto had signed, and that's when we spoke about it. But there was a lot of question marks for the rest of this lineup, and the way it's shaping up in this spring, and especially bringing back Pete.
That was big.
Why shouldn't you be excited? As far as your batting lineup, why shouldn't you be excited as a Mets fan? You have the potential to get there. Now, there are 2 other teams in your division that you have to get past. The Braves and the Phillies are nothing to just look over. And I think the way that the season ended last year is what makes Mets fans really confident. But you have to remember those 2 teams, and they were dinged up. So just think about that as you go into the season. But I don't blame you if you're excited. I can't. If anything, you have all the right to.
There's aura with this team. And then their bullpen. The fifth storyline. Going them. I kept it the same as the Yankees. Their bullpen got much better. They obviously they got a shutdown closer. Edwin Diaz. They brought back Ryan Stanek. Jose Buto, he was really good for them last year. Bringing in AJ Minter, I think he's gonna be hurt. I think he's gonna start the season on the IL. I'm not sure, but he was a great reliever for Atlanta. And you always you want to bring in those guys because they know the division. They know the division. He's pitched against the Mets throughout his years with Atlanta, so he knows the division. So their bullpen is pretty good. And then once they get their starters back, that's going to move some of those guys to the bullpen. So it's going to strengthen their bullpen. Mets got it good. Look, as you touched on, man, the aura's good. Pop the Sports Illustrated cover, Dave. Bro, they got swag, man. Like, I'm looking at it. They got swag. I can't even be mad at it. I spoke to Met fans when I was there, and I did say that this is the first time. And this is as a diehard Yankee fan that I'm saying this, and it pains me to say this. This is the first time I think since 2006 that I really think that the Mets are better than the Yankees. That the Mets are better than the Yankees. And Dave got it up right now, the Sports Illustrated cover from 2006 with that team, with Carlos Delgado, Beltran, and Paul Duca, and Jose Reyes, David Wright. That team I felt was better than the Yankees in '06, and the Yankees still had a good team in 2006. It's not, but I just thought the Mets were better. And I got that same feeling this year with this team. I got that same feeling. But I would say this about the Mets. Last year was fun. Like you said, bro, last year was fun. There was very optimism was a lot because they weren't an expectation. There's expectations now. Right now to compare it, look at the Knicks. Look how many Knicks fans are crying about last year's team. All this, all that, where technically this year's team is better. This year's team has a better record. You know what I mean? But why are people less happy this year than they were last year? Because there's expectations this year. There's expectations for the Knicks. That's going to be the same thing for the Mets. So I get that you guys have fun. Oh my God, Grimace, all that. That goes out the window this year. That's the little engine that could kind of blur that out, brother. That ain't now. Now it's you got to be on, like, there's expectations, real talk. Slow April start, call this team out. Like, there's no more, like, oh, we got to do is sneak in. No, 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 no. You don't pay damn near Juan Soto $800 million to sneak in nowhere. You got to show dominance. That's what I expect the Mets to show, dominance this year. I want to see that.
And I want them
Yeah.
to. I
You think
I
we want to cover
literally am
two New
rooting for
York
the Mets,
teams
and not
playing
as
like
a
trash?
bandwagon. I'm not rooting as a bandwagon fan. I'm rooting as someone. We're gonna cover the Mets, and at the end of the day, like I said it last week, I don't want to hate covering something that I'm gonna do. So I'm going into this season with the optimism, and I want to root for the Mets. I want you guys to succeed, but that comes with criticism. The same way that we're gonna attack the Yankees for failing if they fail, the same way we're gonna do with every other team as well. So please, just fans. This is more for the fans because this is not like a Mets players watching this right now. Mets fans, I'm rooting for you guys. I want you guys to win. I want you guys to dominate because anything less than that just tells me that that is a bust.
Yeah.
And you can do something the next year, but we're talking about right now, this
So
year.
World Series or bust was the question I asked my fans. One of the gentlemen, he had said NLCS, but most of them said World Series or bust. Just the same way we did with the Yankees, brother. What's your prediction uh for the Mets? Like, where do you think? How do you think their season goes?
I think they win their
Okay,
division.
we already.
That's it. I think they win their division. Now, what do you do after that? What
You
was
said
that?
that's it.
No, because I don't want to go any further than that. Besides, you're
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah,
What you do from there,
yeah.
the
Once you
playoffs are a
get in,
different
yeah,
ball
you
game. And
get
at
in
the
the
end of the day,
playoffs. Yeah, uh,
the standard is those
yeah.
Dodgers, the furrow Dodgers. Like that is the standard right now. So that is a tough task, and I'd love to see how you guys match up against them during the season. But right now, I got you
Yeah,
guys
I
winning
got
the
them. I
division.
got them. I got them. I was fighting. I don't. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I think Atlanta got something to prove, man. I think when Acuna comes back, he's kind of said it. He's like, yo, I'm not running. I'm not stealing 70 bases, bro. He's like, yo, I'll steal 40. I need to be healthy. Atlanta's really good. They got the reigning Cy Young Award winner, so I think Atlanta wins the division. So I don't think the Mets win the division, but I do think the Mets make it to the NLCS. I do think that they make the playoffs, they win the wild card, and they get to the championship series. I just don't think they're World Series yet. Um, but that doesn't mean they can't make it. But I got them in the NLCS. So I got them one round. Obviously, they made the NLCS last year. Yeah, they did. Um, But I got them losing. I got them losing in the NLCS. So I got them in the NLCS. I don't have them in the World Series yet. But as I said, that can all change, bro. We could be doing a show in August, where they made an impactful trade, and that might we're allowed to change our opinions. But right now, March 24th, Monday, I got the Mets winning their division and finishing their season short of the World Series in the NLCS. All right, so let's pop up the Mets schedule. So they have a 3-game set with them. You see, this is going to bring New York together because they're going against the Astros, and we know New York can't stand Houston. And I'm not going to front. Shout out to the Met fans, bro. They were giving out Tuve crap at that game. So an enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever. What's that saying? But shout out to the Met fans. They were booing Jose Altuve. So their opening day is March 27th, the same as the Yankees. 4:10 start, followed by the 28th is an 8:10 start, and then the 29th is 7:15. So they have they have a traditional series where there's no off days. I don't understand why the Yankees have an off day in between the series. It's so dumb. But yeah, so the Mets have but then the Mets are not playing Sunday. It's weird. Like the opening day, like opening weekend, all that stuff. It's always weird. I don't understand why the MLB just doesn't start it on Thursday and let them play 4-game sets. I don't get it. But shout outs to the Mets and the Yankees. We hope that they do well this year. As Dave said, we don't want to be covering trash teams. But what we do got to cover now, we got to talk about these Knicks. So let's get into it on This Week in Knicks.
This Week in Knicks.
All right, y'all. So This Week in Knicks, bro. I don't think, we were too confident last week. Bruh, the Knicks finished the week 2-2. And I think any other time you go, oh, all right, we'll take it. But, bro, considering who we played, 2-2 is bad. I'm sorry. 2-2 is very bad. We beat the Heat as expected. We started off slow. Let's just put it at that. The Heat was up, I think, 12-0 in the beginning of that game. We come back, we beat the Heat, and then we go and lay an egg, bro, in the San Antonio. Like, what are we doing? No Wemby, no De'Aaron Fox, and you let this the Drago's son.
He dies. He dies.
I don't even know his name. Ivan Drago's son go off for like 35 points. I think his name is Mamu Kabuklamu or something like that. That they were calling him Mamu, like obviously like playing off Manu, like Manu Ginobili. You let this guy go off for like 35 points. Then you go to Charlotte, and okay, there was some Knicks fans that they was like, oh, with the rest, you know what I mean? It was an off day, you gotta travel, you went home, blah, blah, blah. All right, I get that part. Then you go to Charlotte and lay an egg. You go to, and then the problem is, and I'm not a minutes police guy, but Thibodeau, you got guys hurt. You're on a back-to-back. Why are you on an 8-man rotation in that Charlotte game? Why? You play 8 guys in a back-to-back. Guys looked beat. They looked tired. The Hornets just played more energy, beat up. But they did bounce back on Saturday, and they smoked the Wizards. So we ended the week there. Brother, we were
4 in a row against the Wizards.
We were wrong. We were confident, and we got too confident. That's what happens. So we got some good news.
I'll post the Tick and Tender sub
still losing, so
graphic right now.
We got some good news. Tom Thibodeau did mention that Brunson is out of the walking boot, and he's doing some light shooting. So, but like I said, I do expect Brunson to probably just miss the remaining of the season. There's no rush. And then we got some news as well that Deuce McBride, he did miss the game against the Wizards. He's probably going to miss multiple games. He's got a groin strain, so that's going to suck. But that's going to get Tyler Kolek some minutes, but that's going to suck. But the Knicks got a heavy week this week coming ahead, but they got some very winnable games. They start off tonight, Monday, against the Dallas Mavericks, followed by games with. Followed by, why am I drawing a freaking blank? Followed by games with the Clippers on. I'm sorry, the
Clippers.
Mavs game is Tuesday. It's not Monday. Sorry, y'all. It's Tuesday. Followed by Wednesday back to back with the Clippers. Those two games on the Garden. And then Friday against the Bucks at Milwaukee. Brother, you're in the lead. How do you think this week is going for the Knicks?
I'm leaning. I'm leaning 1-2,
Okay.
and I'm leaning with us beating the
Mm-hmm.
Mavs, losing to the Clippers. The Clippers are hot right now. They're gaining steam,
Mm-hmm.
and who knew Kawhi Leonard could play basketball? It's been so long since we've seen consistency there that we forgot that that guy is really 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 good. Um, and then us losing to the
Okay.
Bucks. So yeah, one and
All
two.
right.
I got us.
Um.
Like I said, and I preface this all the
Yeah.
time. I hope I'm wrong when it comes to my predictions of
I need to I
losses.
need to get back understanding, so I got to be bold with my predictions. I'm going to go 2-1. I think we beat Dallas. Dallas is so depleted. I do think that we lose to the Clippers. I do think we lose to the Clippers a back to back. If we had an off day in between, I would have picked us beating the Clippers, but I got us. But then I got us beating the Bucks. Um, we play well against them now. Obviously, I know we don't have Jalen Brunson. But I know Dame Lillard has been little Nick and Knack there. He's missed a couple games. I hope he's back this week because I had a buy in my fantasy and I need him in my lineup. But Dame Lillard, I know he's been dealing with some issues, and I think we get that game. I think we get that game. That's going to be a game where it could be a first round preview. And speaking of first round previews, man, yo, honestly, bro, I cannot stand this narrative now of the Detroit Pistons of oh world, the Pistons are gonna be able to upset the Knicks and blah blah blah. Yo, I hate it's ridiculous. And I know what this is. You know what this is? This is like a double win for people like ESPN because you know why? Because if it were to happen, oh, they're gonna have a field day about that. And then, but if it doesn't, you go, well, the Knicks were supposed to win anyway. You know what I mean? That bull crap, man. I'm tired of it. But yeah, so hopefully I can make some ground on my standings 2-1. But that's pretty much it from the Knicks front, guys. So let's move on because this show is going long and let's do it rapid. Let's hit it. Quick hits. All right, y'all, quick hits. You already know. This is where we cover everything around the globe. The hits are so quick, you don't see it coming. Guys, former Yankee left fielder Alex Verdugo finally lands a contract as he signs a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Atlanta Braves. Brother, should the Yankees have re-signed Doogie?
If we're
Yeah,
talking about the
yeah.
contract situation,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
1.5, yeah, I guess.
If we're talking about the contract, hell yeah, 1.5. We got Jason Dominguez playing there now, so I'm not too mad at it. We all said that both of you and me in agreement that we want to see Jason Dominguez cook. But for the price, I mean, damn, the guy
Yeah,
could have been
yeah,
had.
I wouldn't mind him as the fourth like backup at that price. But it's funny you mentioned
Right.
it. You mentioned the
Then
World
you, then
Series,
you,
right? And it's like, yo, shout out to the Yankees that they was able to make the World Series with two guys that honestly really didn't get any offers in their starting lineup, which was Verdugo, who just got it now, and Anthony Rizzo, who has not had any deal. So that'll just tell you. But yeah, so yeah, I would have brought him back at 1.5.
it's nothing
Yeah.
to be upset about there. All right, the Giants. Let's switch over to football. The Giants signed Jameis Winston to a 2-year, $8 million deal. How does this impact the
Um,
Giants?
it's a stopgap quarterback situation. Jameis is going to be there to mentor whoever they draft. Whether it be Shador or whether it be Cam Ward. Just hide your crab legs. That's it. But Jameis Winston is
Hopefully, you guys eat some
Jameis
W's.
Winston is gonna throw
Hopefully,
like
some.
40 picks, bro. That's it's gonna be. I tell you this. There ain't no expectations for the Giants, so it's gonna be more comedic relief watching him play. But it is what it is. ESPN Sean's reported this week that Bill Chisholm, he's the managing partner of Symphony Technology Group, has agreed to purchase the Boston Celtics from the Grusbeck family for a valuation of $6.1 billion. How are we feeling about this sell, brother?
So apparently, this is the biggest sell in sports right now. I think they just beat the Commanders with just 6.5 or 0.5. This is interesting, but I mean, they just won a championship and they're available. I don't know how this moves everything forward, but it is an interesting sell.
So the timing,
Let's see
yeah,
how
the
the Boston
timing of it
Celtics
is
move forward.
is not a coincidence. Bobby Marks, ESPN Bobby Marks tweeted. He said the timing of the ownership sale coincides with Boston's projected to have the largest payroll next year in NBA history. The Celtics have 445 million in projected salary slash tax penalties in the 25-26 season. That number could balloon to over 500 million once the roster's filled out. So homeboy knew he was gonna be paying a lot of money. So he's like, "Yo, I got the chip. I'm selling. I'm getting out." He kind of did what Bob Myers did, the GM of the Warriors, where he knew all them bad contracts and all that was gonna deplete the team. He's like, "Yo, I'm out of here. I'm gonna let somebody else clean up this mess." So that's what he's doing. I just instantly thought of when this happened is how much is the Knicks if Jim Dolan would have ever sell the New York Knicks, because that's probably be packaged with the Rangers. Imagine the bread that man would get.
I'm thinking somewhere north of eight
Easy,
billion, but we'll see
easy,
if that was to ever
easy.
happen. The other thing to note is Chisholm is he's from the area, so he does care about the team. At least he says he does. Like everybody who buys a team from the area says they care about the
Oh,
team.
he's
They grew
from
up with them,
Boston,
whatever. But that if
Chisholm.
you're
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Okay.
from that
All right.
area. He's
Didn't
from
know that.
Massachusetts. So you know if you're a Celtics fan watching this, then I guess take that into consideration. The guy at least cares about the Celtics. We'll see how that goes. Um, Moving on, sticking with baseball, we have Shams reported that the both New Orleans Pelicans forward Trey Murphy III, who suffered a torn labrum in his right shoulder, and Philadelphia 76ers Paul George, who received injections in his left adductor muscle and left knee, will be out for the rest of the season. For those of you who don't know, because I do,
I was
the
gonna ask you
adductor
what
muscle
the
is
heck is
in the
that? Because
inside
when I
of your
was
leg.
writing,
So
I didn't know what that is.
it is the it is the inside muscle that basically helps like bring your legs together. Like that muscle does that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, which injury would you say has the biggest
It's
impact on
it's
their
gotta
franchise?
be it's gotta be Paul George. You invested so much money in an old star, and like I said about the Juan Soto thing, right? In baseball, large contracts, you want the first 5 years, you take the greatness of the first 5 years, you live with the decline in the back end. When you signing an old guy for a deal that they did, they gave him what 4 or 5 years. You kind of want the same thing. All right, produce the first 2 years. The heck with it. We'll take the L when you're like 38 and we're paying you that. But the fact is, they're not even getting that. They're not even getting that. Poor George has had a mess of a year. I think there was a stretch of games where he didn't even score 20 points. So um, I would say it has the Sixers is the biggest impact because they're stuck with him. Troy Murphy the third is just a
And
sad.
they're
Is my
desperate.
bad. Go ahead, bro.
No, and
Yeah,
they're desperate. They're
yeah,
trying to get rid of him, which is that'll tell you everything you need to know about the
yeah.
76ers.
The
But
Troy Murphy thing
continue.
is just more sad because he was having such a good year. He was averaging 20 points a game. Uh, on his third year, he made 153s. So that sucks, man. That sucks. With that. But the biggest impact is definitely Paul George because they're declining. The Sixers. And speaking of declining, Nike entered the news this week. It's been reported that Nike's had its worst revenue fall in 5 years. Downloads of the app were down 35% from the year prior. Foot traffic at stores was down 11%. Now Nike is expected to post a revenue decline of 11.5% to 11.1 billion in the third quarter, according to data complied by LSEG. It would be the steepest fall since the 38% decline Nike reported since 2020, which was the pandemic. Brother, can Nike bounce back? What can they do to bounce back from this?
Number one, slow down how many releases you do. Let's just start there. Let's
Yeah,
and then the
I was gonna
retros,
say.
bro.
I was
My
gonna
brother,
say.
like there's a retro. I felt like at least in the stretch, like in the last 5 years, there was a retro released almost every week. You gave people no chance, no break to go and buy the next one if they wanted to. Like, great, that's cool if you know want to brace them out. You don't have to buy every sneaker. But at the end of the day, like, and this is Nike as a whole. We're just talking about the sneaker component of this. I just feel like they need to just find new sneakers, find new things that's going to gravitate to what the kids like these days, because that's the biggest thing that draws people, the kids. Um, and I don't know, just change up the model. Brother, what's your take? Because we're both sneakerheads, and this is something that is relevant to us.
Yeah, I think what's killing Nike too is you know, like you said, the releases. Like, look at right now, right? You had the Nigel Sylvester Brick Force come out, big release, a lot of promotion went into that. Bro, do you even know that the Nike SB Force came out too? The blue ones? Exactly. Exactly. Two heaters. But one overshadowed the it's confetti. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. We're keeping that. You had two heaters. Two heaters. And one overshadowed the other because you dropped them so close to one another. It's not an easy fix. Obviously, you know that there's trends. The Jordan ones was a big trend that no longer is kind of a thing. They're not, it's not popular. The fours had a run now. Kind of fours are kind of,
Dunks,
you know, these
the
kids
dunks
like
too.
runners. Dunks too, right? Like these kids like runners. These kids like mesh shoes. I know I'm getting older. I like comfort. I went out this past weekend and I really wanted to wear my Travis Scotts. I respectfully declined not to wear them because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be on my feet 7, 8 hours. I'm gonna wear my New Balances. So it's just a combination of everything. I think Nike oversaturated the market, as you touched on, and and it's funny because I do like that because I want people to be able to buy it. But then it's like you said, like you're dropping 80 colors of what, like it's oversaturation. Less is more in this situation, and I think that might help the
Touching on the topic
Nike
of
out.
sneakers, I do appreciate one thing, and this is more so me, the consumer. The sneaker market is so oversaturated at this point. StockX and all those other resellers, like those.
Yes.
First of all, I hate resellers. I really do. I had my connects, I had my plugs, and this is not to knock you guys, but at the end of the day, everybody was a reseller. So now, if there's a sneaker that I liked and I just happen to miss, I'm not paying that much over retail if I want that sneaker now. And that's amazing. There was a point where if you wanted that sneaker, you were ready to pay 400 or 500. And brother, you know we keep going higher into that number if you want to. But now is we're in the we're in the standing right now with those kind of places that if you know what I missed on those the SB Force, guess what? I may be able to pick them for not much more. I love it.
Prime example. Didn't you hit on the Union ones and you just like,
Yeah.
hey, anybody want them? Come on, you know what I mean? So yeah, and you hit it on that too, and I don't want to bring light, but to this situation because I think they're clowns. Obviously you saw the video that went viral on Fordham Road of a kid getting jumped while waiting online for the grade nines, and I posted, I commented on the video, and I'm like, jumping the kid for a $10 profit, like, cause like, why else would you jump somebody for sneakers unless you want them because you want to resell them? And what are you gonna make, $10? Like, shoes aren't like, the market is down. Heaters are going for low prices. Like this is like 3 years from now, this market is gonna be looked at like, damn, I should have bought this shoe when I had the chance. Now it's become like a Black Cat 4. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is, but I think less is more, and I think that'll help Nike out a little bit. But the runners, hey, New Balance, shout out to New Balance. But it's also good that other people wear other brands, because especially in New York, and like especially where I'm from, the Bronx, like, bro, there are other sneakers than Jordans. There are other
Yeah.
sneakers than Jordans.
Brother, let's move on. So this past Wednesday, AEW World Champion Jon Moxley defended his title against Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge if you watch WWE. when Moxley took a vicious bump on spikes that got stuck on his back. Do you think this bump was a lot or too much?
Oh man, that was gruesome, bro. That was tough to watch. That was tough to watch. And as we know, wrestling is gimmick. Certain things are gimmick. You know what I mean? Tables are, everybody knows that. That wasn't gimmick, bro. That was spikes that literally punctured his skin. And then like, Dave's not gonna have the video, but there's gonna be image. And guys, if you're eating, because I know we're on at 5 o'clock now. Um, oh man, it's just it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary bump. Brother, you mentioned it on the chat. You did it on free TV. Usually, guys, in wrestling, like those big spots, you want to do it on a pay-per-view. You want to do it where people are paying, and then but and then you do it in a show where it was only like 2,000 people there. Shout out to John Moxley though, because I did see that he drove 11 hours to get to Omaha. From he's from Cincinnati. He drove 11 hours. Apparently, there's some storms that was going on up there. I'm not sure, but he drove 11 hours to get bumped on some spikes. But I do think it was a little too
To
much.
everyone watching this right now, I want you to know that when we talk about wrestling, we appreciate it for what it is known as far as the storytelling. We understand that this is not like UFC or boxing. We understand that wins or losses are more so, they're always predetermined for the most part. Actually, they are. They just are. But there are a lot of risks
They
that
are.
come with the wrestling part of this. This is not something, it is acting on the go. It is a lot of things that can mess up. And while I do appreciate when they get hardcore, I mean, I grew up in a hardcore era when it was beautiful, when you had ECW and you had all these guys taking crazy shots, but John Moxley we have a
Hmm.
running joke in our league, and it's literally how long will it take for John Moxley to bleed? And I appreciate all you do when it comes to wrestling. John Moxley, you're a great wrestler. You're one of the greatest people in AEW. You built the place. But
Hmm.
on a Wednesday to take
Yeah.
that shot. And you know what? Here's what I'll do for you guys. If you happen to be curious and you want to see it, I'll comment below or I'll put it in the description below the link so you can go see John Moxley take this shot. I just don't think that on a Wednesday, like you said, only 2,000 people in attendance was needed. If you had saved this for a pay-per-view, we would have loved it. Honestly. Or maybe not, but at the end of the day, it was too
Yeah.
much for a Wednesday.
Yeah. I think it was too much. But John Moxley's he's the man. Guys, MLB The Show has come out this week. Brother, I don't know if you've played it, but
I haven't picked
have
it
you
up yet.
played it yet? What's your thoughts on the show
You
anyway
know,
in general?
this is becoming a thing with all sports games. I'm getting tired of them. And there's the show is one
Yeah.
of those games that has been great for so long that it's just like, what more can you do? And I'm not a person who does the what's the card game that people love playing? Um,
Oh, it's like almost like a my team kind of thing.
that thing. I hate
Yeah.
the My Team because it's
Yeah.
just me having to spend money so I can get something that's already built into the game. Omar got it, and I'm gonna let you speak about it. But as far as me in sports games, like I get 2K every year because I love basketball. But as far as MLB The Show, I just feel like I don't know how much it's improved from last year, but I will pick it up at some point.
Yeah, they
Omar, what are
did
your
change.
thoughts?
They did change some things. I like that they put the swim move now when you're stealing bases. My knock for the show is always been, and 2K does really well with this. I'm a big presentation guy when it comes to sports games. That's all I buy. I don't play any other games. I only play sports games. I like the presentation. I want it to feel like I'm watching on TV. So NBA 2K, they have Kevin Harlan, they have Brian Anderson, they have guys that you listen to on TNT when you're watching the games. They have the sideline reporter, Ali LaFleur, people that you watch. MLB The Show, I don't understand, bro. Drop the bag. Get Joe Davis. Get John Smoltz. Those guys are the voice of baseball right now. They do the World Series. Get them. You got John Shambi and Chris Singleton, guys that no one know who they are, unless I think John Shambi I think commentates for the Cubs or the Phillies, one of them, but nobody knows who they are. Like, get the graphics, make it look like you're watching the game on Fox. I know they used to have Matt Viscursion. I don't know why they took Matt Viscursion out. Matt Viscursion is a voice of a familiar voice in baseball. Or if you want, I'm being a little biased, hire Michael Kay. People know who Michael Kay is. Let Michael Kay do voiceovers for the game. That's the only thing. The graphics to me, they said they changed it. It looks the same. I'm gonna be honest, it looks the same. It is what it is. Now I don't get into the cards thing, but those are all that I think that just sucks in general with the video game business in general, because you see it in the wrestling games where they could literally put all the characters they want, but no, they want you to buy what do you call those extra
DLC.
downloadable content? Yeah, that they want you to do that, so then you can go get maybe a Jacob Fatu, and it's like, bro, you had them designed already for the game. You know what I mean? So you go and you spend $70 or whatever for the game, and then at the end of it, you probably racked up maybe $200 on it because
Yeah,
you know.
I'm with
But
you
I
on the
like
same
it.
camp with the presentation. As far as presentation, and this is something, and I know we're rambling at this point, and this is quick hits, but when it comes to video games, and especially sports video games, we live in the modern era where if you wanted to, you can add content as we go. You can add voice lines as we go. 2K is amazing because if you play 2K, you have at least like maybe six commentators in that game that they can switch up, and
Yeah,
they do really well. If I play the show, by the second week of playing that game, like
you
in
already know what
season,
they saying.
I
Yeah,
already know what they said, and I'm tired of it, and I
yeah,
end up putting music over it. So for
yeah,
me, that's something that sports games should add content to. Madden is another one that's notorious that I get tired of it eventually. You have the rights to ESPN. You bought you did something with the NFL where you don't make any more ESPN 2Ks. There's a reason why people love that game to this day. You don't use your content well. And this is the thing that gets me upset because everything goes into those card and money and monetization, and that is a big problem against, like you said, video games in general. But when it comes to the sports games, I guess this is where their money comes from. So I can't. If I was in the business, I'm sure I would monetize it as well. But as a gamer, as someone who appreciates games, I get tired of them because it's the same old thing.
yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But guys, we've been running long, but we can't close out an episode without showing you guys the highlight of the week.
He's on fire!
All right, y'all. Highlight of the week is coming from a man that he's provided a lot of highlights in his early career, but unfortunately, he should have been providing more. But injuries and food have gotten in the way. But he's made it this week. Zion Williamson, what a crazy poster on Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Stewart. And the crazy part, bro, like, it's hard to get hyped for it because at that time, Detroit was up by 29 points. So it's like, but shout out to Zion, man. Zion was able to put lipstick on a pig in that situation. They were down 97-68. So, but
People
no,
compared it to the
other than
Chris Paul, the Chris Paul cutting the lead down. I think after the three,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, but shout out to Zion, man. He hasn't had a lot of accolades since becoming pro, but he can put this one on. He's a recipient of highlight of the week, guys. But guys, man, we want to thank you guys so much, man. This week has been a very great week for the Ozone. As far as subscribers, Dave touched on it last week. We were able to get to 100, and now the new goal is 200. So we thank you guys, man. A lot of people has been showing a lot of support to the Ozone, and for those that are on TikTok and Instagram that's been reposting our stuff, man, that helps out so much. But guys, remember to follow us. We're on all platforms. We are on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads, and obviously, to catch us here on YouTube. Guys, if you had anything, this was a jam-packed show. There's a lot of discussion that can be had on the comment section. What's your expectations and excitement for the Mets? Same can be said about the Yankees. What's your thoughts on the Knicks' recent struggles against some bad teams? And then what's your thoughts on the video games also? You know what I mean? I think what Dave said uh, was really, really impactful in the sense of like, these video game companies and they just trying to like really just, you know, steal money from us, brother. But guys, we thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. Remember, new episodes every Monday, 5 p.m. So we coming through with that fire, y'all. So you already know the vibes, guys. You guys have a great week, and we tap in with you guys next week on the Ozone.
This is more than a podcast. It's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right. Welcome to the Ozone.